In this lesson, we're going to do order of operations, and we're going to include powers, and we're going to include negative bases, and we'll also include the zero, anything raised to the power of zero property. So you can, by the end of this lesson, use the order of operations to evaluate any expression. Now, I had you guys working on a math lab in class, but I'm going to skip that for the video. If you want to go ahead and try it, use each of the digits 2, 3, 4, and 5 once to write an expression. That's supposed to say an expression, not and. The expression must have at least one power. The base of the power can be be positive or negative integer. The expression can use any of addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and brackets. Evaluate the expression. So you were supposed to do that and see if you're going to get an answer, and then you're going to share it with your friend or your elbow partner to make sure that you guys got the same answer. You're going to do his, and he's going to do yours. And you should see if you guys get the right answer. And we're going to talk about if you didn't get the same answer, why or why not. And if you did get the same answer, what did you guys do together that was correct? And then we were going to talk about the order of operations and why do you think we have a certain order. But I'm going to continue on. I'm just going to move this so you can see all of my writing. Sorry about that. So there is a certain order of operations in order to make sure that no matter what expression is shown, everyone is going to get the same answer at the end. And if we do the operations in this specific order, everyone will get the same answer if they do the calculations correctly. So what is the order of operations? Well, to avoid different answers to our expressions, all must follow a certain order. So you guys can use BEDMAS, PEDMAS, my dear Aunt Sally. Those are all great acronyms in order to remember the order of operations. I don't typically do that, so I just write down the notes. Evaluate the expression in the brackets first. Everything that is in brackets must be done first. Then you go to powers, and then you do multiply and divide. Notice that that's and, it doesn't go or. So if divide comes first, you do division first. And you do that from left to right, just like reading a book. And then the same thing with add and subtract. Add and subtract can be reversed. It all depends on which one comes first, like you are reading a book. Now that should be a review from you. You've done order of operations in Math 7. You've done them in grade 8. And now we're just going to take it one extra step in grade 9. So let's do a couple examples. I do things very, very specifically. And like some of you guys were taught like the funnel method. Some people were taught, I can't remember. There are different ways of showing your work. I'm going to show you 2 different ways, and you can then you can decide which one you want to use, or if there's one that you prefer to use that a previous teacher has shown you, then go ahead and use that. What I do is I use the tray method. So I create a tray around what I'm going to do first. And in this case, I don't have any brackets, so then I go to my powers. So 3 squared is 9, and 9 minus 1 is 8. So what I do is I put a tray. Notice I'm not putting a line because I don't want it to confuse it for division. So I put a tray around the operation that I'm doing. So 9 minus 1 is equal to 8. So in this case, I'm going to do brackets first. So 2 minus 4 is negative 2. And since it started in brackets, it finishes in brackets. And that's really important because now our base is negative 2. It's not positive 2. It's negative 2. Negative 2 to the power of 2 is equal to 4. Okay. Now another method that I have seen some students do, which I really do like, is using a highlighter. So what they're going to do is they're going to highlight the operation that they do first. So 2 squared is 4. Oops. Except you have to remember to take your highlighter away. So go back to our pen. So 4 minus 4 squared, because 2 to the power of 2 is 4. And then they go back to their highlighter and they say, okay, I do that next, because Powers come before subtraction, so 4 minus 16. And then they do put a highlighter just to show what operation they're going to do next. And 4 minus 16 is negative 12. The reason why I like showing all your work step by step is because it is extremely, well, first of all, it's easier to show or to go back and find your mistakes, which is part of your math curriculum. And you're going to see it in an example later on. So you can go back and check your work. And it's also important to show your work is because this question would probably be out of 2. So if you did something wrong in your calculator and input it wrong, then you won't. And if you get the wrong answer, you're going to get 0 out of 2 if you just do it all on your calculator. Okay? But if you show all of your work and say you went 4 squared is equal to 8, well, that's not quite a grade 8 or grade 9 concept. So if you just do something like that and get everything else right, well, then it would be 1.5 out of 2. Okay, so just be really careful. Make sure that you show every single step that you do to make sure that you get the best mark that you possibly can. So I'm going to try the highlighter method again, and I'm going to say I'm going to do both my powers in the same step. Sorry, my throat's a little sore today. So 2 to the power of 3 is equal to 8 minus negative 2 to the power of 3. Now, the negative is in the brackets. So that's like saying negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2. And I'm going to get negative 8. Now I have 8. So let me just switch because now I'm going to go to do my subtraction. So now I'm doing that whole operation. 8 subtract a negative 8 is the same thing as saying 8 plus a positive 8. We have done that in grade 7 and in grade 8. And I have positive 16. If you're not sure, if you need some more extra practice with subtracting integers, which is typically a tough concept, make sure you come see me and I can help you with that. So here, in your next example, we do brackets first. And, we get 5 minus 4, which is positive 1. And positive 1 raised to the power of 0 is equal to 1. Anything raised to the power of 0 is equal to 1. Now, you don't actually have to do that step because this whole thing is in the bracket of your power of your exponent of 0. So you can actually go right from there to there. But again, if you want to show that extra step, that's fine. So an important hit to remember is we're going to get into a little bit more advanced types of order of operations. And sometimes you're going to have to denote the negative from the actual operation. So sometimes we're going to use curved brackets for the integers to show what is the base to my power. And then we're going to use square brackets to show which operation we want to do first. So in the example, I have curvy brackets. Oh, here, let me just change my color. Yeah, no, so I have the curvy brackets here because I want this to be the base of that exponent in that power. And same thing here. I want the negative 2 to be the base of that exponent in this whole power. And then the square brackets shows you which operation you do first. Okay? And sometimes you're going to have square brackets in square brackets. So we're going to start practicing a couple of those, just a little bit more advanced type of questions. So let's do 3 squared times 1. And again, I'm going to do the tray method here, so I'm going to do that first. So I always do powers before I do multiplication. So 3 squared is 9. 9 times 1 is, I'm going to do that operation now, is 9. Okay. In this case, the curvy brackets tells me that negative 4 is to the power of 2, and then I have square brackets. Okay, so I'm going to do my power first within my brackets because powers come before multiplication. So I am going to do 2 times negative 4 squared will be positive 16. Since the negative is in the brackets, we have negative 4 times negative 4. So it'll be positive number. And then I'm going to show that, or do that operation, the times, and 2 times positive 16 is positive 32. Okay. I'm going to do the highlighter method for the next two. So since I just have powers and I have division in between, I can actually do my powers first. So 2 to the power of 2 is 4 divided by 4 to the power of 2 is 16. A different way I can write division is 4 over 16. So I reduce that to 1 over 4. Or it doesn't specifically say that I have to write it as fractions, so you can actually do the division as 0.25. So either one of these questions would be correct, or answers, I mean, would be correct. Okay, I'm going to do the highlighter method again. I'm going to start in my brackets because this right here shows you the integer, but these ones show you the operation. So I'm actually going to have to do that first because this whole thing is the base to that power. So I'm going to do that operation first because I do brackets first. So 10 squared divided by 10 divided by negative 2 is negative, oh my goodness gracious, sorry. Let me erase that. It is 10 divided by negative 2 is negative 5. Okay. Now I'm going to do my powers because powers come next. I've done everything in my brackets, then I go to my powers. I'm going to do both powers at the same time. I'm going to have 100, and I'm going to have, now the negative is in the bracket of that exponent, so it's equal to positive 25. And then I'm going to show that that's my next operation, and I'm going to get the answer 4. Okay? So now here's a question. Just let me get the whole question in the screen. There you go. So here's a type of question that it's very, very common. It's a quick check, and it says, I have made an error in simplifying the following expression. So 15 divided by 5 to the power of 4 plus 2 plus 5 to the power of 2. So what you need to do is find out where that error is, describe it, and then show the correct answer. So what we're going to do, why don't you just press pause and see if you can find the error and then restart it. Restart the video. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use my highlighter. Okay, well I know I have to do that first, and 15 divided by 5 is 3, and 3 to the power of 4, so that's good. I know I have to do my brackets first. Oh, well that's not what they did. They went and they did, I don't know what they did. They put the power to that and that, which that's not the order of operations. Okay, so that is their error right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what the correct answer is. 3 to the power of 4 was correct. But then what I should have had was 7 to the power of 2. So I have to do this bracket first, and then I can go to my powers. Okay, so I am now going to go 3 to the power of 4, which is 81. So I'm going to do that next. And I'm going to do my powers all in the same step because I can. So plus 49. 7 to the power of 2 is 49. and I am going to get 130 because now these two added together. So notice the huge difference because they didn't follow the order of operation. So this 130 would be your correct answer. So now what I want you to do is I need you to practice more and more questions. So again, I'm going to just make sure this is in the thing. So page 66 to 68, 3A, 3H, 4E, 4H, 5A, 5G, 7, 8F, 10, 11, 15, 16B, 16C, 17, and 18. And then if you want that honors mark in math, you should be doing 25 and 27 and then checking your answers. Now, once again, you guys, you need to show your work. I don't go and I don't answer, or I don't go check your homework unless I really have to. Okay? You guys are responsible for your own education. You need to show your work and make sure you start practicing showing your work today.